Hello YouTube, I just got a new phone in for testing and that is the beautiful Oppo Find X7 Ultra. But this video is not about how the phone looks, it's not about how it performs, it's not a review. I'm just going to take you through every single video setting so you know which modes support which lenses, at which resolutions and everything like that. So let's get into it. Okay, as usual we're starting with the front facing camera, which on this phone does have autofocus, so if I bring it close, it'll keep me in focus. Yeah. You've got 3 focal lengths to choose from. 0.8x, which is a bit wider, 1x, which is kind of a normal selfie camera, and 2x, which is alarmingly close. We're in the standard video mode at the moment, and on this phone, most things take place in the standard video mode. You can shoot at up to 4K 60 on the front facing camera. You can turn ultra steady on, but it will switch you back down to 1080-30, and that's the case with most effects that you can apply to the camera. So you can apply filters up here, some of them look quite nice, but yeah, if I've got a filter on, let's go with that one, and then I try to switch to 4K, the filter's going to go away again. There's a very comprehensive beauty mode, which for some reason it's not letting me click on at the minute, but oh, there we go. So we can make me look all strange, but I don't like that, so we're not using that. There's also cinematic video mode or portrait video mode available in the standard video setting, and that works quite well. And that's most of your options for the standard video mode on the front facing camera. The rest of these options are all photo focused. Slow motion does not work on the front facing camera. Movie mode does not work on the front facing camera. So the only other one is dual view video, which uses one of the rear cameras and the selfie camera at the same time. So you can use the 1x, the 3x and the 6x lens. And you've got a few different options as where you want to display your face. You can have a rectangle in the corner, a bubble, or split screen. And this one here will switch the priority, so this will be a better example. So you can either have your face in the little bubble or you can have the rear camera in the little bubble, depending on what you're trying to do. And there's beauty mode on. It looked like it was on by default there, but you can switch it off if you prefer. There doesn't seem to be an option for resolution, so it's probably 1080p-30 like most of the other things. And I believe that is everything for the front facing camera. Pretty simple. Okay, moving on to the rear lenses. We've of course got access to all our focal lengths. We've got the 0.6x ultra wide, the 1x main sensor, 2x which is a digital crop of the main sensor, 3x which is our first periscope zoom, and 6x, which is our other periscope zoom. On all of the rear lenses, you can shoot 4K 60 frames per second. You've got ultra steady mode, which switches you down to 1080-60. You've got filters, which I believe will stick you down to 1080-30. And if you try and go 60, yeah, that wipes them out. And they don't work at 4K either. So filters and beauty mode and the portrait blur all switch you down to 1080p-30, but they're all part of the main video mode. They're not in separate modes. You've of course got a little fill light at the bottom, and you can film in Dolby Vision, which I believe should work. Yeah, 4K 30, 4K 60, any of them. In terms of other video settings in this little menu up here, there aren't many. you can change your audio mode to smart, which will try and match the orientation of your phone and the zoom length. It works kind of well, but if you don't like too much audio processing, you can stick in standard mode. Focus lock, which we've seen on a lot of phones lately. If you tap on a subject while you're recording video, it will try and keep that subject in focus no matter where they move in the frame. High efficiency video, I keep it on, it works fine for me, but if you have compatibility issues, you might want to turn that off. You can change what the volume buttons do. I like to have my zoom on there, but you can also make them act as volume buttons like you would expect, or you can use them as a shutter button for photos. Quick launch is handy as well. So if you double tap the volume buttons, it'll open the camera even when the screen's off. Otherwise, pretty much everything's photo related in this menu. It is, I've got to say, a little bit Spartan for video on the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. We've already looked at the dual video mode, the slow motion mode as well. Unfortunately, no 4K slow motion. You do get 240 frames per second at 1080p or 480 at 720. And the 240p slow motion does look quite good on this phone. It's definitely better than the Vivo, but you're missing out on 4K 120 like you get on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. In slow-mo mode, you can either use the ultra-wide, the main camera, or the 3x, and the 6x is disabled, and so is the 2x digital crop. Okay, then you've got movie mode, which is basically like pro mode, but for some reason it forces you into this 21:9 aspect ratio, but you get all your manual settings on the right-hand side, so it is basically like a pro mode. You also get a histogram down here. You've got access to the ultra-wide, the main, the 3x, and the 6x in this mode. There's no way to change resolution or frame rate, but I believe it records at 4K 30 all the time if you're in movie mode. Let me double check that. In here, you've got options for a histogram and a grid. You've got ultra steady mode, which gives you a little bit of a crop. You've got your white balance. You've got auto and manual focus. There's no focus peaking though. EV compensation, shutter speed, and ISO. And there's time lapse, which is again pretty Spartan in terms of what you can select. I believe they come out in 4K again. I'll double check that. But you've got your ultra-wide main camera, 2x, 3x, and 6x to choose from in time-lapse mode. It's nice that all the lenses are accounted for. You've got speed options on the left here, and you've got a hyperlapse button. I don't know what the difference is. Oh, you select a subject and it will try and keep them framed the same so you can walk about while you're doing a time lapse. And you can only use the 0.6x ultra wide or the 1x main camera. I think that is all of our video modes for the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. It's a little more photo focused than the Vivo or the Samsung that we looked at, so yeah, not as much to look at, but the results from it are very good. Okay, that's about it for this one. Hope you found it useful. I'm going to try and do some comparisons with this phone while I've got it in for testing, but I don't have it for very long, so fingers crossed. Hit subscribe if you want to see that, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Toodles.